Good morning. Here we are then on a beautiful Sunday morning, ready for a yoga mandala today, which is suitable for all levels. But before we begin, just a word to say that if you're nursing any injuries at all, or if you've got any sensitivities in your body or in yourself, just listen very carefully to your body. So I might give an instruction, but if it doesn't feel right for you, then it's not one for you to follow. So it's really important that you only do what your body feels it wants to do. That said, this is a gentle flow, and I will offer some variations to make it more difficult or make it easier to access. So let's begin in child's pose. You come onto your hands and knees, toes at the back of the mat, back side to heels, and reach your arms out. Spread your fingertips, bring your forehead to the mat. Now, if you've got low back pain, you might find you need to stay up just a little higher, or you might even just be more comfortable in hero pose with your chin dipped. We'll stay there, take a few breaths. Now, with your next in-breath, breathe in as fully as you can through your nose if possible. And exhale through your mouth. And do that 2 more times in your own time. Now, as we go through the session today, you may hear noises from my home or noises from your own. So when you notice them, just allow them to pass over you, to wash over you, without having to process them or identify them or think about them. Spread your fingertips once again. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. Walk your hands forward about a hand's length. And this is where if you've got knee problems or anything going on with your knees, you might take a cushion under your knees. And then we'll begin to draw a circle with your shoulders. And you can make this gentle and soft to begin with. Inhale as your shoulders reach forward, exhale back. And you might notice there's a little bit of a sway in your shoulders and your hips start to move in the opposite direction, almost like a figure of 8. But you don't need to force that if that's what happens naturally, just go with that. Perhaps making the pose a little bit deeper. And then rest for a moment and take it in the opposite direction. Inhale as your shoulders move forward so that you make half the circle, which is the theme of our session today, half the circle, and in breath. Let's take one more circle. And then slide your wrists underneath your shoulders. You can tuck your toes under. And as you inhale, allow your belly button to dip towards the mat. Press the floor away to lengthen your arms. Lift your chin and your tail just a little bit. As you exhale, slowly start to curl that underneath. Belly button to spine. Inhale. Belly to the earth. Forehead and tail to the sky. Exhale, reverse. Let's go one more time. You move with your breath.
And then with your next in-breath, come to a neutral spine.
Walk your hands forward about a hand's length, so they're still shoulder width apart. Spread your fingers and slightly claw your fingertips into the mat. Then lift your knees off the mat, suck your belly button up. Once again, make your arms long. Now lift your tail up to the sky as high as it'll go, like you're a triangle.
And then reach your heels towards the back of your mat for a lovely downward dog. First of the day. A little walk on the spot can feel really good. So we're in the warm-up element of our 45-minute session today, so take it gently. Now begin to walk towards the top of the mat. Bend your knees if you need to. Make your way, so you're about a foot's length away from the top of the mat, perhaps. You can bend your knees, let your arms be soft. Take your gaze towards your knees. So a soft forward fold to begin with. And the main thing that we're doing here is making some length across your back. So keep looking in towards your knees so that the length goes all the way down into the base of your skull. And reconnect with your breath. Now bend your knees a little deeper and bring your fingertips to the floor. And I'd like you to straighten one leg and then the other. So it's a bit like with downward dog, or an alternate knee bend. So take a stretch in the back of your legs alternately. You let your hips sway from side to side. And then feet still, soften your knees, swing your arms all the way up as you inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Okay, lengthen your neck, draw your tail underneath your crown. Press the heels of your hands together, not enough to cause you discomfort in the wrists, just to make some length across your collarbones. And then inhale, hands up to the ceiling. Take hold of one wrist, it doesn't matter which, circle it. Reach your palm up towards the ceiling, so you're turning the palm of that extended arm up, and then reach over in the opposite direction. So I'm holding my left wrist and leaning to the right. And so the outside foot, my left foot, is pressing down. You might be mirroring me perhaps. Now, if it feels all right, look underneath your left arm or your top arm. Squeeze your glutes together and inhale, come back. Take it really gently. Listen to your back in particular on this pose. Inhale up, exhale to the side. So if I turn sideways, you're trying to make yourself tip as though you're in a toaster. So not tipping forward so that you can get a stretch on the outside edge. Inhale, lengthen, and then come all the way back. Bring your hands to your hips. So from where you are, I'd like you to take a big step back with your left foot. And turn to face me if you're not. Heels in towards each other, toes out, bend your knees. And then take your arms out to the side and bend your elbows. Try to keep the tops of your arms parallel to the mat. So as we inhale, straighten your arms and legs for star pose. And exhale. This has got lots of names. My favorite is goddess. It's also horse pose. Inhale to star pose. Take it slow. Exhale to goddess. Now bring your hands to your inner thighs. Straighten your left arm so that your shoulder rises, and then dip your shoulder forward. Your right arm will be bent. You can look over the shoulder of your right arm. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, straighten your right arm
And then dip your shoulder forward, look over your left arm. Inhale back. So we do that again. So a nice stretch in the back. Just about where the ribs are. Inhale to center, and then one more time. And come back. Lovely. Okay, straighten your legs. And turn your toes now inwards towards each other. Take your hands to your hips and lengthen in the side waist. I'm going to jut round so you can see. As you fold forward, your backside's going to counterbalance. So your backside goes backwards and your crown comes forwards. Nice flat back. Then drop your hands towards the floor. And if you can, let your body go with it. Most important is keeping your legs straight for this pose, because this is a stretch for the legs mostly. So if your knees are bent so that you can touch the floor, missing the point. So if your hands are on your shins, that's fine. If your hands reach the floor, that's great too. So look at the space behind you. Now walk both hands over to your left leg, or the leg that's closest to the back of the mat. Pop your left hand on the left leg, the right hand on top, and bring your chest towards your thigh. Try not to lift your left hip. Try and keep your right hip even with your left hip. And then walk both hands over to your right leg. Walk or swing. Right hand first, then left hand. Now notice your hips. So we don't want the left hip to be high. Keep your hips square. Take your chest towards your thighs. Your right thigh, your nose towards your right knee. Brilliant. Okay. So now bring your hands to your fingertips to the center. You can bend your knees now if you like. Turn your right toe out and just walk over towards the right foot. And if you want to lift the right heel, you can, or not, depends on your flexibility. Flex your left foot and point the toes up towards the ceiling. So you might be heel off the mat or heel on. So it's fine either way. Now we're going to walk to the back of the mat. So take it very slowly and flex the right foot. Now what I'd like you to think about is keeping your spine as long as you can so you're not hunching over to do this. So we'll walk back the other way. And then back to the back of the mat. Lovely. Now walk one more time to the top of the mat. You can take yourself there with your hands and spin round so that you drop your left knee on the mat. Now relax your back foot. Walk your right foot forward slightly and let your hips drop. So both hands outside of that right foot. Right hand to the right. Inhale, lift your crown up to the sky. Now tuck the toes of your left foot under and take your backside towards your heel. Flex your toes once again towards the back of your head. Or rather extend your toes. And so we inhale forward again, lengthen your crown to the ceiling. Exhale back. And again forward. And back. Marvelous. And reach forward. So we'll practice a low lunge, which is significantly different from a half warrior. So with a low lunge, your back knee is behind your hip, so that your hips are sort of in a diagonal line from your knee to your hip to your knee again. You don't need your hips to drop any lower than that, so it's important to have some strength there. Right ankle under right knee, and then we'll swing your arms up and take your hands together with the index fingers extended. Point your index fingers up towards the ceiling and then just reach them behind your ears slightly. So you can either look straight ahead or you can tilt your head until you're looking at the heels of your hands. We'll take a couple of breaths here. Now exhale, drop your hands down. We'll take your right foot back and a moment in child's pose. So you can slide your arms forward, forehead to the mat. Inhale back up onto your hands and knees. And let's do that on the left side. So if you take your left foot forward, toes tucked under. Inhale, lengthen your crown up to the ceiling. And so you'll feel a nice stretch in the groin on the right side and the inner thigh and your left hamstring. And then begin to take your back side towards your back heel and reach your toes towards the back of your head. Inhale, swing forward. Exhale, swing back. Let's do that a couple more times. And once again, if your knees aren't happy, your knee on the mat is not happy, pop a cushion underneath or a blanket. Now we'll take this into the low lunge. So swing your arms up, interlace the fingers, point your index fingers high, take your arms behind your ears and look up towards your hands. So there's strength here. I'd like you to squeeze your belly button in towards your spine, squeeze your glutes together and not allow your body to sink. If you're super flexible, you can stay here for ages and just sink your groin lower to the mat, but try not to do that. Try to keep some strength. Now let's bring our hands down towards the mat. Lift your back knee and step it forward. Bend your knees, take a soft forward fold. Slide your hands up halfway towards your knees, so the heels of your hands are just below. Straighten your arms and legs, lengthen your spine. Just slightly reach your shoulders back away from your ears. And then exhale, fold forward. And try and keep your legs pretty straight. Bend your knees and shuffle so that your big toes are touching and your heels are slightly separate. Drop your tail, swing your arms up for chair pose. Once again, you can interlace your fingers if you like, Yoni Mudra. Lean into your heels slightly, tuck your tail under just a smidge. And now bring your hands to your heart, handstand. Lovely. Take your hands to your hips and take a big step back with your left foot. Swivel around so that you're facing me. And turn your right foot to the top of the mat. Lift your left heel and just send it behind the toes, ready for triangle pose. Both arms out, palms facing me. So with your next in breath, reach forward. And the feeling is as though you're trying to get the ribs on the right side parallel with the floor, the arm parallel with the floor. Once you get to that space, then move your arms so that the right hand reaches for 6 o'clock and the left hand for 12. Now squeeze your buttocks. If you've got good balance today, look up to your left hand. If not, if you're wobbly, look down towards the mat. Really press your feet down. Brilliant. Now press into the back foot. Inhale and rise back up again. Bring your hands to your hips. And spin to the top of the mat. And just take a little hop with the back foot so that you can take it to the left slightly for pyramid pose. So both feet are almost facing forward. The back foot's at an angle, the front foot's dead ahead. Hips are almost square. Keep your hands on your hips. We'll take this into pyramid pose. So I'd like you to press into the back foot. And just like we did with a wide forward bend, let your backside go backwards slightly. And keep your right knee strong with a slight bend, so it's not locked straight. Really important not to overextend the right knee at this point. So you might find you can get to parallel to the floor and then take your hands towards your shin, or you might be able to reach the floor. If you can reach the floor, lift your or lengthen your torso rather, and lift your lowest ribs down towards your thigh. And let your forehead sink down to the floor. If you're hovering a little higher, keep pressing into the back foot. If you like, you can take your hands behind you for that Yoni Mudra. Now bend the front knee, drop your hands to the floor. Hop on the back foot, so we'll take this into low lunge again. Swing your arms up. Nice big in-breath. Drop your hands down to the floor inside the right foot, and we'll return to Skandasana. So that's a swivel to the right, drop the heel or don't, it's up to you, and then walk over to the left. Lovely. Now take your hands to the back of the mat, and we'll swivel for a lunge at the back of the mat. Take your hands up to the sky, keep your hips fairly low, arms behind your ears. Drop your hands down to the mat. And then step on the back foot with a bent front leg. So we will take this into pyramid pose. So as you begin to straighten your left leg, you might find that your hands slide up the leg, or you might be able to keep your fingertips on the mat. Make sure, once again, that you keep a slight bend in the back of your knee, that you don't overextend. If you can, lift your ribs and reach your chest towards your thigh, nose towards your knee. Now take a bend in your front knee. And we'll swing your arms all the way up to the ceiling and open out into star pose. Turn your toes out. Brilliant. From there, take goddess pose. Lovely. And starting into star pose, we'll take your hands to your hips. Turn your back foot to the top of the mat. Arms out. Reach your ribs to the back of the mat this time for triangle pose. So left hand towards 6, right hand to 12. Make sure that your tail is squeezing, so it's trying to line up underneath your body, under your hips. Hips stacked on top of each other, shoulders stacked. Press into the back foot, inhale, and come all the way up again. Lovely, bring your hands to your hips. Turn your toes in towards each other. We'll take a forward fold here, lengthen your spine, exhale, fold forward. Take it gently. Okay, let's walk to the top of the mat. So maybe take a bend in your right foot, take your hands to the top, swivel your right leg around. Take your left foot forward. Bend your knees, arms up to the sky, hands to your heart. Okay, so now we'll begin our mandala. We're going to do a half circle to the back of the mat and then come all the way back so that you can see the screen. So we begin, inhale, palms to the sky. Take hold of your left wrist, reach up, and exhale, tilt to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Take hold of your right wrist, reach up, and over to the left. Come back to the center with the next in-breath. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a nice big step back with the left foot, and then we'll take it into goddess pose. So spin around to goddess. Inhale to star pose. Turn your back foot so it's facing the front of the mat. Reach forward for triangle pose. Drop your right arm down. Lovely. Now from here, we'll spin round so you can bend that front knee and spin forward into pyramid pose. So you either straighten the leg and hold your shin or reach for the floor. Now drop your back knee. And if you need to, so this is more of a half warrior, you can walk the back foot back and swing your arms up for your low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down inside the right foot. Swivel round, Skandasana. Walk over to the left.
And spin around for a low lunge. Swing your arms up. Nice big in-breath. Feel stretch in the front of your body. Exhale, drop your hands. Hop onto the back foot, straighten the front leg, and take it to your version of pyramid pose. Now take your left hand to the inside of your left leg. So if you're up high, it'll just be hovering here. You might be on the mat. I'd like you to start to spin open now. Slide your right hand up your left arm, and I'm lifting my torso just enough to get to a comfortable triangle pose. Most people's comfortable triangle is not hand on the floor. Now I'll take it to star pose. So press into the back foot, lift up, swivel both feet out, and then exhale to goddess pose. Bring your hands to your hips. We'll turn to the back of the mat. Take a big step there. Hands to your heart. That's half the mandala. Inhale, hands to the sky. Take hold of your left wrist and over to the right. Next in breath, come back up. Circle and reach your right arm up to the sky, over to the left. Inhale, back up. Brilliant, bring your hands to your hips. Big step back, left foot. Take it into goddess pose. Inhale to triangle pose, to star pose. Lift the back heel. Now we take triangle. All the way. Up to your top hand. Now very carefully spin to the back of the mat and either take your hands to your shin or to the mat. Drop the back knee. Maybe slide the back leg back a bit. Inhale all the way up to your lunge. Exhale, drop both hands inside the left foot. Lift your back knee, ready for your skandasana. Just like a bird, just make your way over very gently to the top of the mat. Hands around to the top, spin onto your back knee. Swing up, low lunge. Exhale, drop your hands. Ready to hop onto the back foot for pyramid pose, your version. Right hand inside the right foot. Slide your left hand up and start to lift your torso to your space. Now press into the back foot and rise up to star pose. Swivel your feet so that both feet are turned out. Exhale to goddess pose. Hands to your hips. Turn to face the top of the mat. Take a big step. Hands to your heart. Brilliant. So we'll do that again. We're going to speed it up a smidge. Take a sip if you need to. Okay, so this is where you get to add your flair and make it more of a personal thing. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back up. Hands to your hips. Big step back, left foot into goddess pose. Inhale to star pose. Lift the back heel. And reach forward for triangle. Look up to the top hand. Spin to the top of the mat. And you can drop your hands to your shin or to the floor. Pyramid pose. Drop the back knee. Swing your arms up. If you want to at this point, you can relax the back foot so the top of the foot's on the mat. Exhale, drop your hands down inside the right foot. Spin round, skandasana. Nice knee crack. Walk yourself over to the left. Spin round once again, low lunge. Relax the back foot, swing your arms up. Inhale. Exhale, drop your hands to the mat.
Tuck your toes, lift up, pyramid pose. Left hand inside the left foot. Slide your right hand up, lift your torso, spin round, triangle pose. Take yourself into star pose, toes turn out, and goddess. Hands to your hips, turn to the top of the mat, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms up, take hold of your left wrist, exhale to the right. Inhale back, take hold of your right wrist, exhale to the left. Inhale to the center, hands to your hips, big step back, right foot. Open out, goddess pose, horse pose. And inhale to star pose. Triangle to the back of the mat, so lift your back heel and reach to the back and tilt. Fold to the back of the mat, pyramid pose. Adjust your mat foot if you need to, make it your pyramid pose. Drop the back knee, relax the back foot, inhale, swing up. Exhale, drop your hands down. Spin into Skandasana at the back of the mat. Make your way to the top of the mat and swivel round, low lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, drop your hands down. Tuck the toes under, step up, pyramid pose. Right hand inside the right leg. Reach up, swivel, open out, triangle. Inhale to star pose. Exhale, goddess pose. Hands to your hips. Turn to the top of the mat, take a big step. Bring your hands to your heart. Brilliant. So now I think we'll try the full mandala. So we've done the semicircle, we'll do the full one. So we just keep going around in the same direction. And we're going anti-clockwise. Need a sip. Alrighty. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale. Reach up to the sky. Circle your left wrist. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center, hands to your hips. Left foot back, goddess pose. Inhale, Tadasana. Lift the back heel, triangle pose. Up to the sky. Exhale, swivel, pyramid pose. Drop the back knee. Walk your back foot back if you need to. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, drop your hands down. Lift that back foot for Skandasana. Walk your way over. Hopefully getting easier now. Swivel to the back of the mat. Drop the knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Onto the back foot. Pyramid pose. Left hand inside the left leg. Start to lift up and open out for triangle. Inhale to star pose. Exhale, goddess pose. Hands to your hips. Step to the back of the mat. Hands to your heart. So let's try this with our backs to each other. Inhale, arms up. Take hold of the left wrist and over to the right. Inhale, back up. Take hold of your right wrist as you lengthen. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Hands to your hips. Big step back, left foot. Open out, goddess pose. Inhale to star pose. So we're leaning to the back of the mat to begin. Lift your back heel. Reach forward for triangle. Swivel round for pyramid pose. Drop the back knee, slide your back leg back if you need to, reach up, low lunge. Exhale, drop your hands inside your right foot. And this is the point where we Skandasana. And I have to ask you, does my bum look big in this? We swivel over to the other side, to the top of the mat. And then spin round for low lunge. Relax your back foot. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, drop your hands. Nearly there. Hop onto the back foot, pyramid pose. Left hand inside the left leg. Slide your right arm up, open out triangle pose. Take yourself to star pose. Heels in, toes out. Exhale to goddess pose. Bring your hands to your hips and turn to the top of the mat. Both hands to your heart, drop your chin. Take a moment, notice the effects of your practice so far. Notice your heart rate. Notice your breath. So we'll make our way to the mat, a couple of back bends and stretches, twists. So we'll inhale up, exhale, fold forward. Take a step back, right foot, and drop the knee. And then left foot. Relax your feet, backside towards your heels. So we haven't done much in the way of back bends today, so we want to just address that now. Spread your fingers. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. Now allow your hips to swing forward and your elbows to bend. If you've got back pain, take this softly and gently. So you reach your elbows back and lower down. And if, like me, your forehead is off the mat, take a moment to shuffle back so that your toes are at the back of the mat. Slide your elbows forward. Your hands might come off your mat once again. Elbows under shoulders, Sphinx pose. If you've got back pain, you might take your elbows a little further forward. So find your space, squeeze your glutes together, heels together, lift your crown up to the sky. With each in-breath, lengthen your neck, squeeze your glutes. With each out-breath, just gently ease your elbows towards your ribs, but without actually moving them. You just press them down and reach back. And so we'll slowly lower down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Rise up onto your hands and knees. Inhale. Exhale to child's pose. As you inhale, slide your hands back towards your knees. And swing your legs round for a gentle spinal twist. Flex both feet. Bring your left knee towards you. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale, turn to the left. And drop your left hand down to the mat and wrap your right elbow around your left knee. So you can lift up tall as you inhale, and as you exhale, turn to the left. Now, if you're super flexible in the spine, you've got no injuries, you might allow your heel to slide further forward and take your right shoulder inside the left knee. So that does actually create a deeper stretch. It's really down to what feels best for you. This is the beginning of a bind. So the closer you can get your shoulders to your knee without hunching, the better you have, or I don't know if I can bind today, yes I can, better chance you have of taking the bind. You just see where it fits with you. And then slowly come back out of that. Let your left knee open out. Take your right foot over to the right. You'll have your right knee bent if you want. You can stick a cushion under your left hip or your right knee or both. And allow yourself to just softly fold forward. Your back can round. You can rest on your forearms if you want. There's a soft forward fold. You can even stack your fists
and rest on them. But keep your right foot flexed regardless of what everything else is doing. Okay, start to lift up. Take your right knee back. Lift your left leg. We'll do those two on the other side. So extend the left leg. Right heel towards you. Sit up nice and tall. Both arms up. Turn to your right this time. Drop your right hand down. And once again, just gently hug your right elbow in towards you with your left arm. So that is not your point of twist. That's just keeping your knee upright and anchoring it. So the twist comes from now the upper back as you look over your right shoulder and open your right arm out, your right chest, side of your chest out. And once again, if you want to make it deeper, you might move your heels slightly further away and take your shoulder in front of the knee. That does create a deeper, stronger twist. So just mind it, and it might not feel right on both sides. So it might only feel right one side. Whatever you do, make sure the whole body's working. So that left hand, spread the fingers, feel the work going all the way down through the palm and into the fingertips. Keep your right hand on the mat, but don't lean into it. Keep your right side of your neck long. Very slowly start to make your way back. Round. Draw your right heel nice and close. Open the hip. Left foot to the left. Lift up once again. And then let yourself melt forward into a nice comfy space. Keep the left foot flexed. You can bend your left knee, it's fine. Take a couple of long breaths. Now start to make your way back up again. Help your right knee up. Take both legs to the center and then just bum shuffle to the top of the mat. Reach forward and roll down, vertebra at a time. Feet relaxed. And let your whole body settle into the mat. So at this point you want to be really comfortable and soft. I need a pillow. Shoulders sink into the mat, feet relax, palms are facing up. With each out breath, sinking a little deeper, noticing how your body feels, letting it soften. Now, if you're quite happy here in Shavasana, feel free to pause the video and just hang out here. Or switch me off and stay here. Otherwise, just carefully begin to move very gently with your body, like it's a very precious item, which it is. Roll over onto one side and help yourself up.
Hands at your heart in prayer, whatever works, eyes closed. A moment of gratitude for whatever you choose today.
Namaste.
Thank you for joining me today. Feel free to watch this video as many times as you like. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and you'll get any new videos I do as well. Just ping straight up. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you again soon.